Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and in this video I want to talk about the Great Divide in RV parks. And there are basically two different types of RV parks. There's what you might call your standard RV park, and then there are RV resorts. And the one thing they all have in common is that each RV space will have an electric and water hookup. And the electric hookup, most places will have 50 amp, but then there's some RV parks that still only have 30 amp. And by the way, the reason for that is because decades ago RVs were only 30 amp because they were fairly small. They only had one air conditioner, and then when they started coming out with the much larger motorhomes and fifth wheels, travel trailers, the really big ones that needed more power, they required 50 amp to be able to fully run everything that they need. And the older parks were just gradually starting to upgrade to 50 amp, and some just didn't want to do it at all. But a lot of RV parks, I would say most of them, will have both 30 and 50. And they may have a sewer dump right at your site, and that goes for both levels of RV parks. And then if they don't have a sewer dump right at your site, then there will be one somewhere within the park. And these two different types of parks in the Great Divide is basically in the amenities that they offer. Your standard RV parks may have nothing but the hookups and no other amenities at all. And then the RV resorts will have pretty much all the amenities you would expect that an RV park could have. Then there are some parks that are somewhere in between. Now, the standard RV parks, the daily fees will range generally from $20 to $40 a night. And then the RV resorts will generally range from $40 to $80 a night. Now, I've heard there of some RV parks that are in areas that are high demand or high tourist areas, like right at a beach or lakeside, something that makes them a really select location. I've heard and seen online some parks that the daily fee will be between $100 and $200 a night. Believe it or not, there are a few that are that expensive. Now, I do not stay in RV parks very often. I only go to RV parks for one of two reasons. One is if I'm going to be in a place for at least 2 days and I'm going to need to run my air conditioner all day and all night because it's hot in the summer where I am. If I'm staying somewhere just one night, I will most likely stay in a place like a Walmart. And during the day, I will either be out scooting around, doing my explorations, making videos, seeing the sights in wherever area that I am, as opposed to sitting in my motorhome all day long. And I can get by during the day pretty well with the summer heat, but at night I gotta have it cool to sleep, or I just can't sleep. So I will run my generator for several hours a night to cool down my bedroom so that I can sleep okay. And I would rather do that generally than go to an RV park for just one night. And the other reason why I would go to an RV park is if my waste tanks are full or close to full, and if they are, then most likely my fresh water tank is going to be almost empty. So I will go to an RV park mainly for the reason of dumping my tanks and filling up my fresh water. Other than those two things, I really have no particular use for an RV park. Now in this video, I'm not really going to get into campgrounds, which is a whole nother category. I do prefer RV parks over campgrounds for one reason. RV parks that are in or near a city will generally be a lot more open overhead so that there's not going to be trees blocking my TV satellite antenna, whereas campgrounds, which are usually just outside of a city or even in a forest, will be just loaded with trees everywhere, and I don't like to have my satellite antenna blocked, so I can't get my favorite satellite TV shows each day. Now right now I am staying in one of Yogi Bear's Jellystone campgrounds, and this is a nationwide chain, and they are about as resortish as they come. They call themselves a campground because they do allow tent camping, and then they also have what they call camping cabins. Now the other national chain that also is an RV resort type place is KOA, Kampgrounds of America, and Yogi Bear's is a little bit higher of a luxury level than KOA is. There's only one reason why I'm staying here today, and this is my first time ever in a Yogi Bear's. That's because I'm a member of Passport America, and being a member gets me a 50% discount of their normal rate, although that does come with various restrictions from location to location. The members of Passport America, some will allow it for one day only, some for only 2 or 3 days, some will not allow it on the weekends or holidays, that kind of thing. But it does bring the daily rate down to what I would consider a reasonable rate. So to stay here, I'm here for 2 nights, it's costing me $45. But normally it would be more like $90. So I'm going to show you a little bit around here now to show you what a luxury or a resort type RV park has. And this one has not only all the amenities, it also has special theme weekends for various times during the year. So you can see here activities that they schedule regularly for certain weekends. So I'm going to show you around. This place has a chapel and a laundry room and a pool pretty close to where I am. They actually have 2 swimming pools. There's one on the other side of the park as well. This is in Plymouth, Indiana, which is south of Elkhart. And now that I am no longer in Michigan, the nice weather is over. And they actually have a lake here where they allow you to go fishing. They stock their lake with fish for people. How's that for luxury in an RV park? You've got a huge open field here on this lawn with the children's playground, and they even have a sandbox. This place not only has shuffleboard, they have a whole mini golf course. How about that? That you can play is included in your daily fee. And next to the golf course is a thing called Jumping Pillows, which is something I actually have not personally seen before. You just walk up on it and it bounces kind of like a trampoline. Here's the other pool, and on the weekend I think this would have a lot of people around. They do have some fishing rules. They've built up a nice pond here. There's a little bit of a pier there, And look at this, they even got a water fountain out in the middle of the pond. Nice. They even have a sandy beach here. And boat rentals, paddle boats that you can rent to go out on the lake. So you can see they have all sorts of amenities that a resort would have, all of which I would have no personal use for, except maybe the swimming pool, which I am definitely feeling a need now to jump in and cool off. You may have noticed there are a lot of permanent residences here, and here are the camping cabins I mentioned before, which are coincidentally right next to me. You can have your picture taken with Yogi and his family and the ranger. You might want to read this, kind of interesting. Here they have a big covered picnic area. And there is the ranger station. The ranger station has a store and a lounge. Nice and cool in here. Wow, they got a big convenience store. Here's a map of the place. Mine is right here. And there's the pool, and there's the pond. And they have a big fishing lake here, and on this side is another pool there and all the playground equipment. So if you're not very familiar with RV parks, then I hope this video has helped you. Good day, folks.